Hi guys, welcome to the Wrestling Retrospective, and in this video I will be doing my predictions for AEW All In. So first up on the 0 hour we have MJF and Adam Cole facing Aussie Open for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships. For me, I feel like MJF and Adam Cole are going to get the win here. I feel like it's going to add into their story, especially going into the main event, as you know, probably most people would say. But I don't think there's going to be a turn here by anybody. I think they might tease it one more time before the main event, but I feel like it's a good idea to get those titles on MJF and Adam Cole, just so there's that bit of, I don't know, like peace of mind that nothing's going to happen because they're tag champions. Though, like, we had Swerve and Our Glory, who were tag champions, but they were at odds most of the time. So I think that's going to be the situation after the turn. But I don't think the turn's happening during All In, so kind of a precursor to the main event part. But yeah, I thought it's going to be a really good match. Aussie Open have been putting on really good matches on AEW television recently. It's been really nice to watch, and yeah, I think it's going to be a really good way to start off the pay-per-view. But for me, MJF, Adam Cole to become the new Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions. Next up we have CM Punk defending the real World Championship against Samoa Joe. For me, I feel like this is going to be a good match and a lot better than their Owen Hart tournament match. But I've got CM Punk to retain here. His real, well, I don't know, I hate this storyline with Punk and the thing. I feel like it's just a massive arsehole move for the sake of an arsehole move, really. But I can't see him dropping the title yet. I don't know whether I can see him facing MJF though. That's the thing. But I don't think Samoa Joe's going to take the title, mainly because Samoa Joe already has a title. But it's good to see like the Ring of Honor mid-card title be elevated to almost a main event match at All In. But as I said, it's going to be a really good match. I very much enjoy both of these guys, though I'm not the biggest fan of Punk at the minute just because of his backstage antics and stuff. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this one, and hopefully it will be better than the Owen Hart tournament one. I can imagine because it's on pay-per-view it will be. But yeah, as I said in my weekly videos, I have a massive conflict of interest in this one just because I really like Punk, but I really hate him at the same time. But as I said, looking forward to it in a way, but CM Punk to retain the real World Championship here. Following that, we have Kenny Omega, Ibushi, and Hangman Page taking on Takeshita, Jay White, and Juice Robinson. I think it's going to be a really fun match, action-packed from the start. One of the matches I'm not that invested in, but I am looking forward to just due to the talent involved. But for me, I feel like Takeshita, Jay White, and Juice Robinson are going to get the win here. Solely based on the fact that I think they're going to do Kenny and Takeshita at All Out, where Kenny would get his win back. Especially as we are seeing that Kenny might not be 100% going into this. I think that might play a factor into the match itself. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to as I said, just talent-wise, how good this is going to be. I feel like all 6 of them are incredible athletes. So, as I said, I think it's going to be action-packed throughout, really fast-paced. And yeah, I don't really know what else to say on this one, but I've got Takeshita, Jay White, and Juice Robinson to get the win here. Next up, we have the House of Black defending the Trios Championships against the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn. For me, I'm going to back the House of Black. I'm such a huge fan of theirs that I don't want them to lose, though I am very concerned that they might, just because of how over the Acclaimed are. And due to Billy coming back this past Wednesday, for me it sides over to the Acclaimed, I think. But for me, I'm sticking with the House of Black. I just love them. They're probably one of my favourite things in wrestling at the minute, and I think there might be a way of getting them the win without having the whole audience boo the place down. But in my opinion, I don't really like the Acclaimed, and I'm being very biased in my preferences. I really don't want the House of Black to lose. Following that, we have Darby Allin and Sting facing Swerve Strickland and Christian Cage in a coffin match. For me, I've got Darby Allin and Sting to get the win here. As far as I can remember, Darby Allin has never lost a coffin match, which makes sense as it's kind of his match. and I don't really like they're going to get the loss here. Plus, Sting and Darby are undefeated in tag team action as well, so I think again that plays into the fact that they're going to get the win. But yeah, I think the match itself, similar to the Stadium Stampede, is going to be quite a bloody affair, especially with Strickland and Darby Allin. I think I can't even remember the last time they had a coffin match, but I know that they're really fun, and I said, yeah, looking forward to it. I don't really know what else to say about this one. It's not had the best of builds, especially as Darby's been in 2 feuds at once. I know that they kind of incorporated both feuds in together here. Easy for me to say, but yeah, I think it just everything sides so far with Darby and Sting that I don't think it's any question that they're going to get the win here. Next up, we have Stadium Stampede between Eddie Kingston, Penta, Orange Cassidy, Chuck Taylor and Trent Beretta versus Moxley, Wheeler Yuta, Claudio Castagnoli, Santana and Ortiz. And yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this one ever since Stadium Stampede was announced. I know it's going to be a very violent match, with most people going to be bloodied at this one. And yeah, it's just something that I'm very much into, especially with the violence, blood and guts and everything like that. I can't wait to watch this go down, and I can't wait to watch it back to see what I've missed. And yeah, I'm hoping that this maybe leads to a match between Moxley and Kingston at All Out, maybe even do Lights Out, which I think would be an awesome match. And yeah, I've really liked though it's been short and long. It's been long for some people, but between Kingston and the rest, it's been quite short. And yeah, I'm glad to see Kingston back in AEW after he's been in Japan. But for me, I feel like Team BCC are going to get the win here, just because then Kingston maybe gets his win back at All Out. But as I said, one of the matches I'm very much looking forward to. Next up, we have FTR defending the World Tag Team Championships against the Young Bucks. This match is going to be so good, and I feel like it must be like the best tag team match of the year, even though we've just had Bullet Club Gold and FTR go at it for an hour. I'm expecting the absolute best and absolute quality of both teams here, but unfortunately it's going to be a non-wrestling factor that plays a part in this match for me, which is obviously Cash Wheeler getting in trouble with the law, and it just, for me, I can't see them letting FTR have the titles if he's going to be in some trouble afterwards. So I've got the Young Bucks to become the new tag team champions and the first 3-time tag team champions as well. As I said, I'm very much looking forward to this one. It's going to be one of the matches of the night, but unfortunately a non-wrestling factor will play a part in the result of this one, in my opinion. Following that, we have Hikaru Shida defending the Women's World Championship against Saraya, Toni Storm and Britt Baker in a fatal 4-way match. I'm very much looking forward to this one. I'm very much behind Saraya here, and I feel like she's going to become the new champion. I know that a lot of people have been doubting the fact just because of how few matches she's had singles wise, and also the fact that I don't know, I've heard a few people are actually going for Hikaru Shida or Toni Storm just because Saraya doesn't wrestle very often and Baker's hurt. But I feel like this is going to be one of them big moments that everyone will remember about this pay-per-view, where Saraya gets the world title win in her hometown or home country. And yeah, I don't know, that's the way I feel like it's going, even though, like, let's say Saraya's not been around a lot. She wasn't on Dynamite this week because she was in the UK and stuff like that. But for me, I think that, I don't know, ever since Saraya was announced for the match, I think she was like the second person in, or third person in. But either way, I don't know, I've been thinking Saraya ever since she got put in the match. Even before the match, I was like, oh, surely they're going to put Saraya in if Jamie Hayter's not around, which is the case, and it's a massive shame. So yeah, for me, even though I think this is going to be a really, really good match and action-packed throughout, I've got Saraya to become the new women's champion in this one. Penultimately, we've got Chris Jericho taking on Will Ospreay, and I think this is the match I am most excited for overall, especially after the promo on this week's Dynamite. It's just got me so hyped about it. I think it's going to be, for me, this has to be match of the night. That's definitely my guess. And I cannot wait to see it. I can't wait to watch it afterwards. It's going to be so good to watch. But for me, I've got Will Ospreay to get the win here. As he said on Dynamite, for him to have on his resume beating Okada, Omega and Jericho within 2 months is huge. And I think it just helps him just his career in general. And as you know, it's, you know, he says about all this contract stuff, I'm not bothered about any of that. It's just a case of if he's trying to like vie his way to being the best of all time, this is the way to do it, and I think he's going to prove it. In my opinion, Will Ospreay is currently the best wrestler in the world, and I don't even see that much of him, but his 2 matches with Omega and the matches in Japan, and just every time I see Will Ospreay, it's just incredible to watch, and I cannot wait to see this one either. As for Jericho, I'm surprised they're going for Jericho as a babyface and Will Ospreay as a heel going into Wembley, especially as Will Ospreay is from literally down the road from Wembley. But yeah, I think both are going to get huge reactions. I can't wait to sing Judas. It's something I've been wanting to do forever, and I thought I'd never get the chance. And yeah, I think it's just going to be a great experience, just as a whole, as a match, as just being part of the audience. So yeah, it's the one I'm most excited for, and I've got Will Ospreay to get the win. And finally, in the main event, we've got MJF defending the AEW World Championship against Adam Cole. Baby! And yeah, for me, I've got MJF to retain in this one. And is there going to be a turn? I don't think so. I think they're going to really stretch this out. I think they're going to have the rubber match, if you will, or not. I'm not sure, to be fair, because technically no one won the first match. But they're going to have their third match at Full Gear for the championship, where Adam Cole may get the win there, though I'm convinced and have been from the start that MJF is going to hold the title into next year. So then the whole bidding war of 2024 can happen, and while he's champion as well, so Tony Khan will get desperate to get the title off him. I feel that would be a really good storyline. But for me, if there was a turn, it's Adam Cole turning on MJF. So then MJF goes into like this whole downward spiral and never trusting anyone ever again. And I think that's going to be one hell of a storyline. I think it's going to be fantastic to watch it play out. No, I don't know whether it will actually happen, but I definitely want it to happen. And I can't wait to have the awful, slimy, scumbag heel of MJF back, because I loved it. And I do like MJF as a babyface almost, and this storyline's been really fun to watch, but I do want good old MJF back because it was so funny, his promos and just everything about it was great. He's by far the best heel in wrestling at the minute. Christian Cage been a close second. But yeah, for me, I don't think it's going to be match of the night, but I know the crowd are going to be fully up for it, and it's going to be a great experience to watch, similar to Jericho and Ospreay. But for me, MJF is going to retain the AEW Championship here. So those are my predictions for AEW All In London. I am heading down, so if there's any videos or anything you want me to take of entrances or something, anything like that, any content from the show, please do let me know in the comments, and I will post it probably on Monday. And obviously my video for the weekly review will be out on Monday as well. The review for All In will probably be out Tuesday, and it's a very busy week on the channel next week because Payback and All Out next weekend. But yeah, do everyone enjoy the pay-per-view. If you're going, have a great time. If you see me, say hello. But yeah, I can't wait. It's something I've been very excited about for a while, and just to be going to like the biggest selling wrestling event of all time is something I never thought I'd be able to do. I'm very much looking forward to it. And yeah, I hope you all enjoy it as well. But for now, I'll ask you to subscribe and like, share, and all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.